Yeah, if I could ask you, and again, you don't have to answer this, but who do you think is more influential and powerful in Washington, D.C., the lobbyists or the intelligence agencies?
Well, I mean, the answer to the question is yes, they're one and the same, because oftentimes they are fused with precisely the same personnel, where people will roll out of DOJ and end up at, the law firm that services the lobby corps and the very same clients. I mean, there's no better example of the fusion of that than when I learned through a whistleblower that the Perkins Coie law firm, which is the legal wing of the Democratic Party, has within it a secure information facility that is run by the FBI. So they literally have a place in their law firm where they can try to convert political dirt into intelligence investigations, counterintelligence investigations, criminal investigations, and the like.
Yeah, and let's not forget all the Epstein tapes.
And it's up and running today. It's up and running today.
And they have all the Epstein tapes too, but that's another thing. Do you have any hope in the Jim Jordan new committee when it comes to investigating the weaponization of government? Do you think that's going to be akin to maybe a church committee? Yeah,
that's our objective. And the specific agreement we have with McCarthy is that select committee will have the budget, resources, personnel, no less than the Democrats' January 6th committee.
Well, what do you think? Do you think it'll work out?
Look, it's hard to promise outcomes when we don't have the ability to throw handcuffs on anybody or put anybody in jail, right? All we can do is expose facts. And so it relies on other features of our system to kind of go end to end on that accountability. And so I don't want to promise people like, yeah, you're going to see Hunter Biden hauled off in cuffs. You're going to see the Joe Biden, University of Penn, like China money laundering stuff. And, because that may be out there, but it may not result in precisely what people would hope upon encountering the information.
Ian, do you want to ask about, you made that point about sometimes no investigation is better than an investigation.
Oh, yeah. Especially like with the NIST investigation for 9/11. I mean, there's so many holes in that thing if you look at it objectively. Like, I'm concerned that they would put forth an investigation, but it ends up being a sham. And then they're like, okay, we did it. Our investigation's over, everyone. We didn't find anything. Don't ask again. As opposed to no investigation. And then
this is the Saudis' playbook, right? I mean, the Saudis were able to avoid the responsibility that they have in the 9/11 attacks and in a terrorist attack in my district in Pensacola, because they get a nice little report written that is sufficient to absolve them, and then they say, oh well, not nothing to see here. You don't need to come back and conduct any further inquiry.
Do you fear or is that concern when creating committees of, I don't know, because I'm like, well, we need an independent committee, but who's deciding who's on the independent committee? Like, how do you ensure that it isn't a sham?
Personnel. I mean, that's why we know that the people who will be on that committee will be people like Jim Jordan, Chip Roy, Thomas Massey, people who actually ask tough questions.